They are afraid. Watch Democrats and journalists break down in fear and chaos as Vice President Pence walks away from the podium at a press briefing.
Thank you all.
All of you need to answer this.
Why is the federal government...
What is going on? And you're not working with the transition. You're all part of not recognizing democracy. You're all undermining the democratic elections. Every one of you.
Why is the federal
and you
government...
won't work with the transition.
Pandemonium as Vice Pence walks away from the podium at a press event. Now, journalists are afraid. And we're also seeing Democrats freak out on Twitter. We are currently in a contested election. I think that is a phrase that nobody has been able to use, or nobody has really used so far. You know, Democrats kept saying, Joe Biden won. There is no irregularities. There's no fraud. There's no investigations. He won. That's it. Zippity zoop. We're done. Move on, they say online in their online forums, while Republicans say no. There is far too many signs of discrepancies, failed process, fraud, and possibly compromised voting machines. All of this is pending investigation. Some of it is being investigated, and we've had multiple arrests in multiple states of people who were actually charged with fraud. Now, there's two narratives going on. On one hand, we have Republicans who are saying, we do not accept the results. We must investigate any and all signs of discrepancies, foul play, fraud, and we must have audits. We must have transparency so that we have fair and honest elections. Democrats are saying, no, we're going to harass and bully everyone who doesn't listen to us. For example, recently, 2 Republicans in Michigan who were bullied and harassed, doxxed, their children were doxxed on live camera, recently rescinded their vote to certify Detroit and Wayne County. This is significant and huge news, and it's causing a massive panic among modern leftists. These journalists, they're not journalists. They are modern left-wing activists. You see, journalism stopped being journalism a long time ago. We're going to go through this, but before we do, a quick word from our sponsor. Introducing Veilfall, Soothsayer Series Book 1. If you're interested in an epic fantasy novel of an epic tale of a master sword slinger and soothsayer, look no further than the following book. The cover art is impeccable. It's got everything, folks. Ancient demonic cults, swords and magic, a guy who wants to become a god, necromancers, oh boy, it has it all. Get your copy today by clicking on the link down below. If you want more information on the author, you can visit their blog. Now, I want to show you the following tweet. Rick Petrie says, each member of the delegation of Michigan GOP legislators that's reportedly on its way to meet with the erstwhile president at the White House tomorrow needs to be identified as quickly as possible so we can turn the Klieg lights on them. Michiganders, please help. So here you have a person calling to dox public officials, basically stop them from meeting with the president. The left is absolutely losing its mind and having a mental breakdown. So here you can see these left-wing activists, they go in and they basically start to try and figure out who these people are so they can harass them, because that's what the left-wingers do. In fact, that's the entire reason the GOP members in Michigan rescinded their vote to certify, and that Detroit has a long history of corruption and it must be investigated. They've called for a full audit. Now, speaking of audits, many people on the left have also been celebrating that Georgia, the recount is done, and guess what? Biden won. Did he though? You see, the problem with Georgia is that they simply recounted the ballots. They did not check if the ballots were legitimate. They treated it as a separate issue. In other words, Georgia needs a full audit. But it's more than that, folks. In 3 separate counties in Georgia, they found missing ballots. In fact, that alone is a reason to contest the results of the Georgia results, all of it. That does not happen. If you have 3 boxes of missing ballots, all favoring Trump for a net gain in votes overall, it must be investigated as a whole. The state of Georgia is compromised. And I believe this is one of the arguments that Trump's lawyers are bringing to the table. So left-wingers are having an absolute mental breakdown. Journalists are absolutely freaking out on national television. Michigan is trending on Twitter right now with over 700,000 tweets. And if you look through these, you're seeing these left-wing activists, so-called journalists, all crying the same tune. How dare you uncover our fraud? Basically what they're saying. You see, if Democrats and these Biden supporters truly believed that Biden won fair and square, they would not be afraid of an audit, they would not be afraid of investigations, and they would not be afraid of the results not being certified. This leads me to believe that there has been a significant, if not major, amount of cheating. This is my opinion, but we're going to have to see how it goes, folks, moving forward. But they're all singing the same tune. Here on MSNBC, quote, "It's incredibly dangerous that they are entertaining the conversation because we all know what the law is in Michigan. This is an embarrassment to the state." I believe this is what Governor Whitmer said, and this is the same woman who's probably going to be impeached for violating the law and pushing for lockdowns when she did not have the authority to do so. Now, if you see the headlines, it's really easy to understand why people are being lied to and how they're confused about what's actually going on. For example, here on the Daily Mail, Georgia completes recount of ballots and confirms Biden's victory in latest blow to Trump's unfounded election fraud claims. Unfounded? Unfounded? In Georgia alone, they found 3 sets of uncounted ballots. You know, historically, they said that if you're going to find missing ballots, historically it's like 100 or 200. How many ballots do you think they found in Georgia in 3 different counties alone? Over 5,000, all favoring Trump. What if there are missing ballots all over the state? And if they found them in 3 different counties, they will surely find them all over the state. Georgia needs a complete redo, a complete audit, and a complete investigation. So they can celebrate, they can talk about, oh, we're going to win no matter what. They just don't care. They don't care if there was cheating in this election. They don't care if there was corruption. They just don't care, but too bad. Luckily, the founders who created this country set down a constitutional process that will allow us to move through this in a legal, lawful way. Now, Linwood is chiming in on the discussion of Georgia in particular, saying that he wants to appeal and take this to the higher courts. Linwood says, "A motion to delay certification of Georgia votes based on a flawed recount was denied this evening by Atlanta Judge Stephen D. Greinberg. The oral ruling was unclear, but he may have overreached to dismiss my claim that the election was unlawful due to at Georgia Secretary of State consent agreement." Now, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know what that means, but he brings up a really good point. Now, Linwood is the famous lawyer who fought for Nicholas Sandmann and won. You know, the Covington kid who was falsely slandered by the media. They said he attacked a poor, innocent Native American when it turns out the Native American actually approached him. Anyways, he goes on to say, Georgia voters have their rights. An appeal will be filed to the 11th court. It's not over. And I think that's what scares the left the most. You can see this meme that Annan posted. It's one of the Supreme Court SCOTUS's, and it says, yes, well done, Biden. Well done, Biden. However, people are spreading this meme because if and when all of these court cases, all of these challenges go to the Supreme Court, Democrats are going to have a very difficult time indeed. Because currently, conservatives have a majority on the Supreme Court. I believe it's 6-3. And a lot of the conservative judges have a bone to pick with Joe Biden and the Democratic Party. These people were attacked, they were harassed, they were slandered, and Democrats literally accused them of being assaulters, criminals, and all sorts of horrible things when they got nominated to be on the Supreme Court. And that brings me to my final point in all of this. If anything defeats the Democrats and Joe Biden, it's gonna be themselves. The greatest weapon against these Democrats, against these leftists, is their own actions, because it is their own actions that come to bite them in the ass. But that's merely the obvious. Well, that's all for now, folks. What do you think about this story? Let me know down below. in the comment section. As always, if you want to support the channel, as this channel is currently not monetized, please join me on Patreon or Subscribestar. Your patronage is what keeps this channel going. But one easy way to help out is simply to share my videos, share my content, and spread those red pills. Anyhow, thanks for watching. This has been Mr. Obvious, and I'll see you all next time.